Good morning. This is Pierre Laguerre here, your daily motivator. And today with this new little jam, I'm here to challenge, inspire, and motivate you. So with that, are you ready to join me on this little trip here? Come on, we're gonna talk about your vision, your leadership, your health, your wealth. Are you ready to join me? Come on, let's go. This is a new gym just for you. This morning, of course, I've got more information for you on the ways to simplify and improve your health. In episode 508, we spoke about the first part of this series. And today I'm here to give you the second and hopefully the last part of this series on how to simplify your health. And of course, if you have not yet listened to episode 508, go to eonthemove.com/podcast 508. That's eonthemove.com/podcast 508. So there you will find out all the stats that I mentioned just in the first 3 minutes. You need to hear those stats because they are absolutely alarming stats. And what I want to share with you is the power of knowing the facts so that you can make wise decisions for your life. And again, these are life and death decisions because when it comes to your health is your wealth. If right now you suffer from any kind of issue, a disease, a sickness, or anything like that, it is going to impact even your earning power. You see, nowadays, employers are looking for folks that don't have certain health issues because they don't want to pony up the extra insurance payment. And, again, if you are an employer, put yourself in their shoes and you would absolutely understand why they're looking at it that way. So what I want to tell you on this episode is really share with you some key documentaries that you need to know about. And of course, I'm going to start with 3 of them that I've watched at least once or twice, some of them, and some even more. These, of course, when you go to eonthemove.com/podcast 509, because it is episode 509 that we are going over right now, you will find all of them. And if you go also on the page to 508, you simply have to scroll down on eonthemove.com/podcast 508 or 509 and scroll down the page and you will see the 3 key health documentaries that I recommend. Of course, feel free to download a copy of Dr. Brian McConnell's book, Fasting, The Missing Therapy to Optimal Health and Healing. He happens to be one of my clients in Arizona with my buddy Eddie. Basically for him, we have him absolutely working on his ebooks. So that's one of the key things, getting him to produce and create more. His stuff will be showing up on Amazon very soon. So that's one thing, right? But also, I want you to check out Dr. Joel Fuhrman's book on fasting and eating for health. My mother actually went and bought that one from Barnes & Noble after I recommended it to her. And she's the type, ever since the late 90s, early 2000s, when I started really getting into a lot of the health stuff, every book that I bought, she read. And anything that I have to do to read about health, she wants to know about it because she's 70 years old and still working as a nurse's aide and strong as they come and healthy. So that's important, and she wants to maintain her health and reach 100 and beyond, like my grandmother who lives in North Carolina right now is 100 years old. So these are just some of the books you need to avail yourself to. But in the meantime, if you don't have time to get books or anything like that, there's more on that page. Check out item number 5 where I talk to you about these health documentaries. The first one is Forks Over Knives. I've watched that one a couple of times. There are 2 doctors on there, so these things are scientifically proven. So go ahead and check out that one. You'll enjoy that one. That's the first one I would recommend for anybody looking to understanding why a vegan or vegetarian diet is beneficial. And really, it's not just vegan, vegetarian. It's a whole grain diet with all the greens and everything added. That's why I talk about Dr. Joel Fuhrman's G-Bombs. And again, on those pages, eonthemove.com/podcast 509 for today's podcast, you can also find out more on the links on Dr. Joel Fuhrman's G-Bombs. And then, of course, you want to check out the Game Changers. The Game Changers is another one, and I've seen this on Netflix, but you will have links to them on this page where you can go and find out where they are on their own pages as well as on YouTube. So I give you all the links and everything that I found out about them. But the Game Changers is a good one. Again, this one is mostly for adults because they talk about men's issues in there, you know what I'm saying? Different issues like erectile dysfunction and everything. I know my audience is a mature audience. So the Game Changers is also for a mature audience because they talk about the flagpole, you know, raising the flagpole and all these things about duration of the flagpole. So those things are important because they show you, of course, how a whole grain / vegetarian diet will help you mostly there. And that episode, especially if you're an athlete, it's great for you to check out that particular documentary because it speaks to athletes, football players, Olympians, and others. And did you know, for example, that Carl Lewis was 30 years old when he got most of his gold in the Olympics, and he had switched his diet over to completely being a vegetarian diet. And then another one that I watched years ago with my wife is called What the Health. And What the Health, that one is a little more controversial, but it's actually good as well because it's talking about cancer. Why is it that, you know, we're still recommending things to people even though we know it's what's the cause? And to see, of course, how a lot of the big meat industry, sugar industry, and other industries, dairy industry, they're all denying that their products have any correlation whatsoever to cancer, obesity, diabetes, and all these things. So again, remember, in episode 508, I shared with you this caveat, or rather this disclaimer. I am in no way a certified health person. You need to speak to your nutritionist. If you have a doctor that's a nutritionist or they are they deal with natural ways, you need to find out more from that doctor, someone who's actually studied nutrition. That's the kind of doctor you want to go to. There are naturopaths and osteopaths. All these also, they are great doctors as well, and they know a lot of the natural ways of healing and, as Hippocrates put it, the paths to making food your medicine. So on this episode, what I'm really looking forward to sharing with you is these key documentaries because you need more information before you make any drastic decision in your life. And as always, documentation beats conversation. So it doesn't matter how much I drill this in. What you need to find out for yourself is, you know, go ahead and listen to these doctors and scientists and come to your own decisions. Because at the end of the day, it's your health. Once you're no longer a child, it is in your hands. You are responsible for it. And of course, when we look at healthcare across multiple nations, it's one of the most expensive solutions that exist. But there is something that may look expensive to you right now, but in the end, it's going to save you countless hours sitting in doctor's offices, or worse yet, being sick. There's something you can do about your health. And again, I hope in this series, I've helped you to understand that you have the power in your hands to do your own research. That's why I'm recommending you go back to podcast 508 and listen to some of the facts, because if they don't jolt you, well, I got news for you. You may be saying, I'm healthy now, I don't get sick, nothing's happening to me, and I'm not here to spread fear, doubt, or anything like that, but simply to tell you, you owe it to yourself to do your own research. And of course, when I look into this industry, and everything that's happening with different various industries, sugar, meat industry, dairy industry, all of them, they are out just for profit, not necessarily to benefit your health. So make sure, and even with fads that exist out there, a ton of different diets that are fads, all these things, people are out to make a quick buck. Companies are out to make a quick buck, not necessarily to benefit your health. You need to do the research and you need to find out for yourself. So I hope you go ahead and take a look on eonthemove.com/podcast 509 and listen to some of these series that I've put up there for you so you can at least find out more. And of course, go in with an open mind, because everything you're listening to, you may say, but that's not what I was taught. Again, remember, I'm not the expert, and I'm sure you're not either, but you have to do your due diligence. And so with that, I look forward to you joining me on the next episode. I'll be here to help challenge, inspire, and motivate you towards your vision, passion, health, wealth, and leadership. Again, it's Pierre Laguerre. I'll catch you in the next episode.